What's up, YouTube? Scott Lett here, owner of Iron City Power Washing. Look, I know YouTube doesn't like it when you make content as you're driving, but I really don't care. I don't have a whole lot of time in my day to make content, so I'm just going to do it when I can. So, and also, like I said in the previous video, we're primarily commercial. So it's kind of awkward to walk around while there's other contractors out there on these job sites with your camera videoing. I don't think people like that. I know the property or the project manager on this particular job I'm headed to probably wouldn't care for it. So I have to be careful, how much content I get on certain job sites. The one I'm headed to right now is a post-construction cleanup for a company that we acquired about 3 or 4 months ago. They initially got our estimate, pretty much laughed at it, and they let their painter pressure wash. And he pretty much couldn't keep up. I've seen their equipment. Definitely not what we have. Obviously they're painters, so they have the smaller machines. They just couldn't keep up with the work. They couldn't keep up with the pace of trying to paint and clean the sidewalks in the buildings. And this particular company got an estimate from a company in Georgia that did some work for one of their locations in Georgia, and it was about twice as much as ours. So we priced it at what we wanted and just waited, and it ended up getting the job. We didn't negotiate. We just said, hey, here's our price. And they ended up going with us due to a company's inability to keep up with the work and do it right. And then another company that was out of state obviously would be more expensive than us. So I say all that to say, price jobs the way you want to price jobs. Get what you want from the jobs, because you never know what could happen. So this particular job is a post-construction cleanup job. A lot of red clay removal, some rust spots. But also, when someone has cleaned ahead of you and you're essentially going to clean areas that they have already cleaned and they fail to do a good job, you have to be careful on some potential damage. And I do a lot of documentations of other people's work. Even in the residential world, we'll get turned down based on our price. They'll go with a cheaper company or person, and they'll call us and say, hey, the job wasn't completed, it wasn't done right, they damaged this, can you come and fix this or that? And then that gives you a ton of leverage and credibility if you can show up, finish the job, fix whatever mistake is out there, and then you have a forever customer. So this particular job, the company who did the pressure washing, they ran surface cleaners over new concrete, which is a big no-no. So there's a lot of etching, and it's one of those things where the project managers never even noticed it, but when you're a pressure washer, you notice things like that. So I went around and documented all of the damage that I noticed, and I shared it with the project manager, because just because they didn't notice it doesn't mean the owner would show up, someone who's very aware of commercial properties, and notice etching. And if we're the last company to touch that particular area, even though we did not do it, that could fall on us. So just be very detailed in documentation. Try to notice things. Try to do everything you can to protect yourself, especially if you're going in after a previous company, which happens a lot for us. It happens more than you would think, especially in the residential world, because here in Birmingham, we are competing against legit companies. We're competing against high school and college kids who come home for the holidays, for the summer, and they'll literally hire these people. We'll compete against some firemen, which is fine. I have a lot of respect for those guys. I know a lot of them. We have competition with landscapers who have a pressure washer, painters, like I mentioned. So there's a lot of people out there who pressure wash, but they don't know how to really take on these larger commercial jobs. They don't have the experience to know that you can't pressure wash new concrete, right? You have to you can surface clean it, but you have to change your nozzles. Sorry, my truck is making that noise, but just do the best you can with documenting things like that. Even with like a new client, a new home, I always walk around and I video things that I notice. And the reason I started doing this was 2 summers ago, we went and cleaned a vinyl house. It was covered in vines, hasn't been cleaned. It was neglected for I don't know how long. And we went out there and removed some vines, and we cleaned all the mold off the house, soffits, gutter line, everything. Cleaned this place up, made it look immaculate. The customer finally went out, walked around the house probably the first time in, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. And there was some holes in the vinyl. I knew they were already there, but to them that was new. I did not know that, and they tried to pin that on us. Luckily, not intentionally, I took some before and after pictures, and luckily you could see the holes that were there before we cleaned the house. So I got lucky there, because I could have easily fallen on the sword for that one. So just take your time, guys, with when you get to properties, to make sure there's no previous damage. If someone calls you to come fix a mistake, make sure you document. I even will put together a contract on Jobber, which is our CRM, for the company or for the client to sign before we show up. So I will restructure the estimate, and I'll resend it for them to know, hey, there's damage here. We're here to fix it. We did not cause this particular damage. I need you to sign this as a contract. And if they do not agree to sign it, I will not do the job. Because there are people out there, guys. There's not many. There are people out there that will get you to come to a property knowing there's damage there, and then pin you to get things fixed for free. I've heard about it. I've had it tried on us. So the more you learn how to use contracts, the more you learn how to document your work, other people's work that has damaged property, the more you're going to be able to protect yourself. Okay, and that's why I mentioned in the previous video to have insurance. But you don't want claims on your insurance, especially on things that you didn't even do, right? So just keep these things in the front of your mind, that this stuff happens, because I've heard stories about it. And also, it's good to have contracts too, especially in the commercial world, that are signed, because if there's no official signed documentation of the estimate or the invoice, they technically, legally do not have to pay you. So the more thorough you can be in that category of protecting your company from a documentation, from a contractual standpoint, the less headache you will face. You'll get paid, you'll save yourself from getting sued or pinned for damage. So I'm headed to this commercial site now. I've already found a bunch of damage. I'm going to get there. I'm going to do a very thorough walkthrough of the area I'm about to clean. My business partner and Tech, they are cleaning a $1,500 driveway. This is our 3rd time to clean this particular driveway. They love us. They love our work, so they call us every year. Sometimes twice a year. They just like a clean driveway. But anyways, when I get to this job site, I'm going to do a walkthrough. If I notice anything that's damaged, I will document it. I will show the property manager or the project manager, and I will then get started. And if there's any questions, any concerns, anyone trying to say that we damaged the property, I will have that documentation on my phone, and it will save me, because it has saved me before. and it will always save you. Okay, so that's my little snip of advice for the day, and I hope you guys keep crushing it. Hope you end 2023 strong, and I'm hoping that I am giving you guys things that you can implement to your business. So anyways, guys, keep crushing it, and we'll talk soon. Merry Christmas.